Welcome, guys. Welcome again. Welcome back. It's another episode. Welcome to the Playground Chat, guys. My name is Chuma. I'm with my brother here.
I'll go by the name of Chinatown. Welcome to the Playground Chat.
Yes, sir.
The best
Sportscast in the land. That's what we do. Today, another like we're just getting we keep getting blessed, gents. Like
I don't like the word legend all the sometimes.
Legend.
It makes
people old. Yeah.
He's, the greatest act, or like what he's done for us. I keep saying to me, I never said it to his face, but for me, he was the guy who put me on football.
Yeah. Put me on Stumble also. Put me on that.
As a graphic designer, and I was an artist, and then he was like, "Oh, I know you're a football guy. Do the football thing." And now, this guy.
Yeah?
For real.
Yeah, we here, guys, with Ikhrutman, Tina, we know him as Khris, but he's gonna explain to himself. If you guys don't know anything about him, we're here with Khris Njokwana. Pudi, for the brothers out there that don't know who you are, just a little bit about yourself. Take it away. Welcome to the Playground Chat.
Firstly, thank you so much for the invite, guys. It's long overdue, I think. Just been busy. But yeah, I'm Khris Njokwana, born and bred and buttered, Walanga, Zone 4, and Njokwana to the world.
Yeah, and we did a lot of deep diving. Imagine, Njinga, having to deep dive into someone that grew up in the same hood as you is kind of crazy. Because that just gives you an element of, like, we might be coming from Ikasi, and like most of us are coming from disadvantages and sad backgrounds, So this is a testament to that. Like, anything is possible, no matter the background, no matter where you're coming from. Anything is possible. So when we see people like Khris Njokwana, touring the world, doing all these, from singing from the hood to singing on national stages like that, it's an inspiration to most of us. Thank you so much for coming to the show. Doing this deep diving, I did see that you were once before freestyling, you did a lot of playing of football. Yeah. So Ajax, you played. I think Santos, you also featured some games there. I think the love of freestyling came in your space between university time, and then just give me a little bit of a breakdown between what made you ultimately change, because I don't know what's the biggest difference between freestyling and playing in events.
Before you get that, Liverpool.
So basically, how my football career started is that obviously in Zone 4. Then across Zone 4 is Langa High, and then from Zone 13 he used to have this team called Liverpool. So that team consisted of mainly players from many flats. So when basically we used to have like one ball literally, and then actually pull up and his way of coaching is like just kick the ball and just follow. Just follow. I remember Gyorekes, like I also started there. That's actually the very first player that I kind of like looked up to, kind of like the same age, but the way that he played and the way that, like, I don't know, just the aura around him, kind of like that made me really like kind of like fall in love with football. And then immediately next door in my immediate surroundings was Utanko. I think is no longer with us. Rest in peace, Utanko. He was just like he saw when we used to play like this game. He saw like the skills that I used to play at that age already. Like, I was probably like 11, 12 playing with Kamachotman, and I was like always like a big boy, so I was always like pushing off the ball and trying to do some crazy stuff with I was always skillful. But from there, and then I wanted to just brighten my horizon from Zone 4, Langa High. Then I came to this side of the world, Elopshin, and then started playing for Black Swallow. And then a lot of people, Ibafana, and then I also went to that side of the world for Singer Deluxe, and then from there, then I went to a white school. I went to Pilots.
There you go.
And then from
On the bus.
Okay,
from a
On
pilot.
the bus.
So now, violence, I got introduced to Ubuntu, and then I started playing with Ubuntu. And then there was a time called, a tournament at that time called Night Series. We used to play on Wednesday night. So,
Yeah.
but then the 15s, played against Hellenic. And against Hellenic, I think I scored 2 goals. And then Mr. Manuel at the time saw me playing for Old Mutual, and then invited me over to Hellenic utility field at that time, close to Salesians. Before that, when I was 15, I played for the Old Mutual first team, made my debut, scored, and then I did well. Literally a week later, after I was approached by Hellenic, and then
Just
I did.
kept on. Just
I think a very important thing I always say to people, like, I grew up watching you in Cape Town.
Sure.
You know? And a lot of niggas don't know that time you had already focused your life on freestyling.
Yeah.
And you were playing to entertain us.
Yeah.
You know, inspire us. And maybe between that time and when you realized that your touch was better than everyone else, that you could freestyle. I remember when Notamzu and my nigga Luthando, you guys were the first guys who could do things with the ball, you know, and I was like, okay, this is something different, and you were the first one to create a genre. I'm a music guy, so I always make it. Freestyling became a genre. The way you played football wasn't exactly the same way you freestyled. And how did that become about? How did that differentiate? Okay, now I'm going to be a freestyler, and now I'm going to be a footballer, and I'm choosing freestyling over footballing.
Yeah. So fast forward to the Hellenic story, right? So then I got released at 19, I think after my second Bayhill. So better players came from the School of Excellence, and then I got released. Then I went to Santos. But I kind of like, at that age already, my peers were already like touching the first team of Santos, touching the first team of Hellenic, and I was like, no, I mean, I felt like I wasn't good enough to make it professionally. And then when I went to university, the way that I started freestyling was that I couldn't afford to buy mountain boards or buy cameras or laptops, so I had to hustle. So I went to a Pentec or CPUT Belleville campus at that time. I used to get a ball, so I took a taxi from CPUT to Middlestad Mall, which is in Belleville.
Yeah.
And then I used to then bask, and then with the ball, I used to text around. So if I saw a hand or a painting that I liked,
painting.
So I used to hide, you know. And then when they left, then I started. So I used to make like 60, 70 rand per pop a show.
Oh.
And then that's how I used to buy a little bit of food or a little bit of train fare from my Belleville to come to Kuala if I want to come back home or buy a mountain board. So that's how it really started. And then from there, I kind of told myself yo, man. And then the World Cup was coming, I think, 4 years later in South Africa. And then I was like, since I'm doing graphic design, I'm a creative guy. Is there a way that I can fuse my ideas into football and being graphic and being a creative? And that helped a lot, being a graphic designer, and also in hindsight, looking at it now, and then also my skills, because like I said when I was earlier, I was always skillful, always trying to stand out. And I was like, the attention that I was getting when I was at Middlestad Mall, I could then
use it for something else.
Use it in such a way that I could be get kind of not really famous out of it, but make money out of it.
Recognition.
I was making that 70 rand, and I thought that if the World Cup is coming, I could then
make more.
Is that the first time you made money out of football?
You could say that. Yeah.
So it gave you a thing of
okay.
Oh,
there we go.
There's money. Yeah, okay.
And then we were getting paid, but it wasn't kind of not a lot. So for me, just kicking around the ball and earning 70 rand was kind of a lot of money for me as a student at that time. And then it became kind of easy. And then I remember my very first trip. I made the USA, which is the students team. Then we went to Nigeria, and then we traveled on Pauchi, Jos, and then the very first show that I did was at the Shrine, which is almost equivalent to a Zone 6 in Joburg venue. So it's a big venue where Femi Kuti It's like he's not a
Fellow
club.
Kutis.
Fellow Kutis club.
His band
it's a
plays
shrine.
there.
Yeah.
I get it.
So it's like 4,000 people. Get a ball. Started doing my thing. Man, just like craziest thing ever. And then I started getting invites, go back to Nigeria and doing other shows. And then straight after that, I think like a month later, and then it was 2008, the opening of what Dubai Mall is now.
Yeah.
How big that mall is.
The biggest mall in the world.
Yeah, kind of. When they were opening up their mall, so they invited me and Was from, he's from Tunisia, but from France at that time. Then we started doing a show. And
He's
then-
also a freestyle.
Yeah,
I
he's also a
remember.
freestyler.
We watched the
So now-
freestyle show. We watched against. You guys competed against each other
It was
first.
kind of like a compete, but it was really like a showcase.
A showcase.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, I watched that one.
Because I'm remembering now, like, where I can still like I get goosebumps right now because we're going down the escalators, going to the stage, and it's like on center court.
Yeah,
So
I
everyone
saw
is
that one.
looking.
And it's like
With the-
thousands and thousands of people, bro, like Arab people and people around the world, just for the opening of that mall because it was a huge thing. And I'm like, yo, like Yokalama, just like I'm looking around, bro, like it's so surreal. And then that year also, then I won the first time winning the freestyle competition in Joburg, and then represented South Africa. But I was the only African representative in Sao Paulo later on in that year in November. And then I remember my dream was always to be like top 10 in the world, you know, because when I was at CPUT, oh man, I was always on the net just watching like the Nike freestyle chain. So basically, people would do
Yoga Bonito.
So people would
We
like,
grew
do
up with
tricks,
that.
so do things around the world and they'll pass the ball.
Around the world.
Yeah. So now, I'm looking at these people like Crazy Legs. He was the judge at that time.
I remember Crazy Legs.
I'm forgetting now. Oh, Falcao, the famous
Juggler.
futsal player.
Futsal player, not the Falcao.
Sorry, I
not
have
the
to
play.
educate them. Not Falcao Ramadel.
Yeah.
Who scores headers.
Nah.
We're talking about Falcao who used to take a ball from futsal
Yeah.
and dribble.
The whole
If
thing.
Ronaldinho's role model
Yeah.
was Falcao.
Okay.
People don't know that part.
Yeah. So that, and then Pepeto also was like the judge. Edgar Davids was the judge. So like big names in Sao Paulo. So now the guys, so there's 44 freestylers around the world. So there's like, what you call it, before the main night where all the 16 that qualify. So there's qualifiers.
Qualifies before the main
Yeah,
tournament.
the main event. So the guys around the world didn't really know who I was or whatever. So luckily enough, I made the final 16, and then just ended up being like in the top 10 in the world. That's what I wanted within like a space of a couple of months. And then from there, that really opened up for me to be like work a lot with Red Bull and do a
To
lot of
combine the graphic design thing with everything.
yeah, so I did a lot of shows around Africa, a lot of shows around Middle East and Africa. So the whole of Arab, almost like, you can name it.
How many countries have you been to?
I've been
Just
to
to name drop them, just to give them.
11 countries?
Probably.
Nah, 55 countries around the world, bro. And then the thing is,
You didn't say no. You didn't say yes. You didn't say no. You didn't say
He's got it. Do you know what I respect a lot, Chris?
yeah,
Ne? The humbleness.
hey, bro, man.
Hey.
My mom would kick my ass if I ever be anything out of the way.
I know that.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I met Chris was through my aunt. Sisanda. Ah man, Tandi Paula wena. Chris was unattainable for me. But my aunt is talking about Josta Zaza and that place every day. Because she's a journalist. You know what I mean? But what I liked about football is that you have to be yourself. And with that Chris, he will tell you something in a way that if you're not going to be allowed to uimabela, which is good. And I always say to niggas, especially in Cape Town, when you have an opportunity to meet niggas like Uta Chris, what are you learning? If you are now Zobane resistance, even if it's not what you want to hear, you need to start thinking about how to navigate. Especially with business. It's business, go. You know, I watched this team play under 12s once. that's a because I didn't put enough time in my under 12s.
So you used it as like kind of a motive.
Yes, because you understand what he's doing. But when as a coach, you're like, and so that's a person drills it and every day. You get what I mean? Whereas you know what it takes. But when I started seeing your sessions, I'm like, I'm gonna do it. Now we just have the respect that a technique can be because the things that he used to do, even when he was playing, he would put other niggas on. Technique. The name is Malula. So it comes to what my next question is gonna be. In South Africa, right? We have big clubs, and then we have big clubs for us guys who like development. For me, Super Sports United is the biggest club that ever was for me. Development. Ajax Yapela, and then we looked at Super Sports United. And now we know that Super Sports United is going under. Not going under, but they're giving it away, their statuses, right? For me, Khris, my question is, how do we as development coaches, or just in general, make sure that the kid will buy into our thing, but we also don't know that he can't future next year. I made an example last week. Where there's a school that is not feeding, but helping us recruit and whatever, right? What happens to those kids now that we've sold our statuses? It's like Ubuntu, for example. I always it's a great, because of the way they do it the right way. One day it stops. What happens to the kids that went to school there? That's the part that I get hurt by. Because I was in a sports school also. If they decided, by value school, because I want my trick certificate.
So yeah, before going to all the big clubs, I think like the main foundation is like, I was talking about Gyorekes and Liverpool. So all the local teams, before that, I want to give big ups to all the local coaches that are unknown before going into like
better setups,
your setups. Like for me, I think the biggest one obviously was your Ajax Cape Town Spurs. They're still doing some great things at the moment. Obviously your Ubuntu's, and then you just mentioned Super Sport United. And then for me, the biggest thing that really hurt me was got like Events.
Yeah, but also they went under.
So like with like 99 years before the century.
Yeah.
You know? A lot of kids and players had nowhere to go. Now there's a lot of players and lost a lot of kids. So basically, like you talk about like development, like I think this is why I actually like tweeted a couple of days ago, like this is why South Africa is where it's at the moment. You see that the 17 is doing our qualified for World Cup, the 20 is qualified for World Cup. Look, I'm also taking to athletics. How we're doing well in the
Yes.
It's all about like developing. You see, we're about final, very close to qualifying for World Cup. And I always said that like, and God is not a fool, man. Like the amount of work that we put in when the kids were young, you would definitely, in the end, you would bear fruits. Belgium also went through the same thing. Germany, when they won the World Cup, they
exactly the same thing.
Yeah, they're so like, yo, they kind of like, they had to change and then start with the youth, and then they knew like, okay, cool, in 10, 20 years time, then they're going to get a generation. So I think that's where South Africa is in a beautiful space at the moment, because they're really looking at the youth and start at the grassroots, and then get obviously in the grassroots, obviously, we get 2 or 3 players that are going to go to these academies, and they're not right, but the development coaches are the ones that really like work hard and improve from the hard work that has been done in grassroots. You know? And also the thing is that South Africa has done well also is you were talking about the licenses. There's a lot of coaches that have in the past couple of years that have been like taught, and they're very eager to learn. And this is where like, it translates into the kids, because they're better coaches. You get better kids basically.
As a coach, right? When I developed my coaching thing, how many kids have I developed to be even in the eyes Not even to make it in the eyes. So if alone as one guy, I have 30 kids, and I can develop coaches instead of developing players, they will develop coaches for me. Right? And I think as coaches, Ota Khris, who only taught me technique, who only talk about technique, Tottenham Hotspurs is how man, 45. Tottenham Hotspurs is how wide. Come, let's score the easy goal. The things like that, right? And it's things like that where, as coaches, we laugh about, but it's actually the real life. And I say to Kumogogo, it might sound like I'm joking, but if everyone can learn that part of just a simple thing, do the technique properly, this is about right, because we're there.
One step
We're there. And Luthando is a Guinness.
Yeah, I was about to ask about that. Thank you for mentioning. A lot of people don't really know that. He's got a record of, what, is it 37.5? Of the frame at Joburg Stadium. There's even like a little clip of it. But you had to attempt that record 3 times. Tell me a little bit of what was going on through your mind, because first of all, you thought, okay, cool, I can probably do this because I've already broken a couple of niggas' records already, right? And then Theo Walcott was like the number 1. What was going through your mind? Because you're like, okay, maybe I can challenge this guy. I can do this. You go to Joburg Stadium, now it's like Jongi. First try, boom. Hey, okay. Didn't work. Second try, also didn't work. How does it? Like, what made you go through that whole?
With that work, I would never attempt a work. Just like mentally, man, just like because I had so much pressure. Before that, not a lot of people know that quite a few professional players were approached. They were approached to do their record, you know, because it was all about like the hashtag was like share the drama, and it was via like, I don't name the brand, like Heineken, so he was the Champions League. So police at the time, or Rogers, he was working in Joburg, and he knew that I was a freestyler. It looked like I could, you could do it.
Yeah, you could do it.
So he had that. So he asked me, would I be interested in trying out this record? And I was like, yo, man, because you only get 3 chances.
Yeah.
And so I tried, and then my first attempt was the light pole, accolades. Yeah. So they dropped the ball, and I was like, yo, man. And it's not even that high.
Yeah.
It drops a bit quickly. Yeah, it drops a bit quickly, and then the touch went that way and that way. And then he needed an answer because the people from Guinness wanted to know, because the Champions League, I think it was in May sometime in 2018. And then the next day, I didn't land the trick. I was like, you know what? Let me just do it. And then I was training with it, so I needed a higher height. So I went to the silo hotel in Waterfront. But even at a higher height than the actual height, which was like 35 meters at that time. Yo, bro, the ball moves to tell you, like, yo, that's a hard record to do because it's like wind and the weight of the ball, how it's pumped, but then
Can I ask you something a bit personal? Your body structure.
Yeah.
I always say to niggas and tell them, I say to them, hey, you gotta have those legs, Khris.
Nah, not really.
No, do not say that. Do not say that. The way he wants to play.
Yeah.
You know Luthando, right? The way he wants to play. And I'm like, okay, if you had tried that, I'm talking about me.
Yeah.
Man, if I had tried that ball would have hurt me the first time. That's not in the air.
No, they said, so the requirement for the record is you can use any part of your body, right?
Oh, cool. You can first touch him, right?
Yeah.
Also, you knew that the thigh was the best.
No, I didn't know. Funny enough, when I tried the record here in Cape Town, it was always on my laces.
Laces.
Yeah, it was on my laces. So the basic is control, when the ball drops, control it. Obviously, you can't use your hands.
Yeah, but control the football right.
Control it, and then do 5 taps, and then it's considered as to show that.
Yeah, control it.
To show, then it's considered as a world record, right? So there's actually one clip which I'm not allowed to show because of NDA. I controlled with the perfect. It's actually better than the world record.
Yes, I saw that.
Controlled
But
it.
you did a little bit of a.
So I controlled it with the laces, and then when it came to the actual attempt
Tabby.
in
Johannesburg when they dropped it.
yeah, I remember it was a Monday morning. The adjudicator from Guinness World Record, the English guy, came in the night before. I didn't sleep, bro. I didn't sleep.
How can you sleep?
Yeah,
Okay.
there was just so much pressure.
How can you sleep?
Yeah, there was so much pressure on me, man, to do it. So I had a couple an approach to it was like, okay, I'm gonna use my lace because that's what I remember. The muscle memory, that's all I remember. But when it came on the day, when I looked at it, man, it looked like an ant. It looked so small.
Oh.
Don't you die?
Yeah, so I was using Zoo to actually drop the ball here in Cape Town. So the guy that was helping me, it's the first time I met him.
It's on a crane also.
Yeah, it's on a crane, and the crane is kind
Yeah,
of
it was on a crane.
and then they had to pump the ball up to a
Certain
measurement. So the adjudicators there, so they got all the media people
Yo.
around. Yeah.
So they made it the hardest possible.
So that
The
you could not do
ball,
it.
so that they can bounce, because especially that time.
Yeah.
That time was Jabulani. It
No,
was sponges.
I was using it.
It was
I was
after.
using it. I was using it.
2018, okay, at least. So it wasn't that spongy balls.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. So now, when the first try came, then I was like, okay, cool. You know what? I'm gonna use the technique that I used to
Let you know.
Yeah. No, then it wasn't working. I was panicking. The second one came, and then it hit. I think it hit like my chin, my chest.
Yeah, I heard of it.
Oh, that was so sore. I was like, and then I was like, because they said,
Then
do you want time? Do you want? I was like, nah. I feel like I can get it. And I feel
Give it to
like
me now.
30 seconds later, then you'll see me like I'm like
Mm.
counting down and I'm pointing there, and then as they drop the ball, it's so weird because it just like fell in slow motion.
In your, yeah, it fell in your position.
Yeah.
So
So and then it swayed. Then I ran after it. It hit my thigh.
Yeah.
Then I had to run after it.
And then
I sat down.
da.
And even when I look at it now, when I'm doing those tricks, it's kind of like, no, man, that's not like
your best tricks.
the best. Yeah, the way I could
But
have
at the
done
same
it.
time, you controlled it and you did tricks.
Yeah. So as I'm thinking, I'm trying to. How can I put it? I'm trying to be swaggy with it. I'm trying to, but now I'm also realizing I broke the
broke the record.
I'm also thinking, you know what I mean? So then I just kicked it away, started crying, and then that actually kind of like changed my life because then even there, I thought I traveled before, but then after that, I was traveling. Yeah, man, it sent me all over the show.
Wow.
Also, remuneration was kind of like cool. It was nice. Not the actual record, but what came out of it.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like cool. And then, yeah, man, that's to attempt another world record now. Like I'm cool. There's another world record I attempted now with, but I was injured at that time. Kind of like them. Toe taps. That
Hey, but your toe taps are, you know, you did toe taps before niggas could really do toe taps.
Yeah, no, but I wasn't ready, man. And then
No, but for real.
yeah.
Like, we're talking about toe taps, right?
Yeah.
You know the nigga, our nigga, Luthando, today, he always be like, hey, Nina, I went to 2013. I went over the Dondon. You from South Africa?
Yeah.
Already. You know Khris? Do you know what? Because the technique.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, when I look at you, like, that's why you keep asking me where I know your girl from. The technique.
Yeah.
I remember one time I asked you to come and help me out, and I didn't fulfill it. But what I was saying to Luthando was like, the technique. This guy, I know what technique means, but this guy, he knows how to implement technique in a way that we need it.
Yeah. So touching to the coaching part of it, it's kind of like it's something that I'm also learning because I'm also kind of like a youngish coach, new coach, but like it's something that I can also learn because I get so passionate about it and I get so like
Emotional.
I try to find creative ways where I can put across and how we can play.
Yeah.
As I'm playing, I'm also thinking a step ahead of this, and I'm trying to control everything. Whereas I think as I'm growing older, I should kind of like let other players be
Players.
Yeah,
And you coach and be a coach. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm still like kind of like a player coach, but it's also come to a time now where I can like let other players be and not necessarily be like a coach. So the way that I try to put the information across, I try to be as creative as possible. Like I play with Luthando futsal, and you can attest there. Like some of the guys are like, this guy talks too much or whatever. But like, I really try to portray and
a visual game
or
of the
convey,
real life.
Yeah, or convey what I'm trying to put on the paper into the pitch. So like you're talking about the goals.
No,
like,
it's the same thing. It's the same thing I'm talking about, Christo. Is when I watch you guys, né? But because you guys, you and Chico know I coach.
Yeah.
There's things that you guys will come talk to me, and these guys don't. And I tell these guys, listen, why didn't you post the guy it's easy to score?
Yeah.
They'll be like, I've been to score. He percentage, but he percentage, you don't. Do you get it?
Yeah,
so I feel like, okay, for us coaches, a percentage, ibalegile, because you want to score goals. But for players, it's like, what are we talking about? Yeah. And what I've realized, technique. And I feel like South African players, if we can focus on technique, the other things will be easier for us because our technique is so good.
Yeah, like, so we naturally gifted, man. I can say, like I'm saying again, like, not to be big, like, you traveled around the world. I was 20, I'm going to give you a quick story. Like, 2009, this was a country cup. Then I'd gone to Sao Paulo. I went to Zunzu, Sao Paulo. And then at Sao Paulo at that time, I'm going to give you a quick story. There was a guy that was playing there. His nickname is Marcelinho. He's playing in the midfield. Playing for Sao Paulo. He's asking for my like flip-flops and asking for my Bafana top because the World Cup is going to be next year. Fast forward to 2013. He had signed with PSG from Sao Paulo. He couldn't speak a word of English. He was really good and great technique, as you're saying. And then 2014, I think South Africa was playing a friendly against Brazil. Then we lost that game 5-0.
Yeah, 5-0.
I was at the FNB Stadium to some tapping, whatever. And then the guys from Brazil, the South African players on this side, the guys on this side. So the South African players are looking and be like, how much take?
Yeah,
but the Brazilian guys, like, not Neymar per se, but this guy that I was talking about is like, football artist, Sao Paulo, 2009. Trying to like trying to talk to me. So I dab them up, whatever they go play. So that player was Lucas Moura. Right?
Oh, Lucas.
So Lucas Moura. Like at that time, Casemiro was playing for the first team of Sao Paulo.
Lucas was coming up.
Yeah, and Lucas was coming up. You've got Neymar was playing for Santos at that time. No, I don't
remember.
That was like
before.
I don't remember. I don't remember. But it's like those players. What I'm saying about, or why I'm telling you that story is because when I went there, they were telling about like how skillful South African players and how they liked our technique, even the coaches there. So like traveling all over the show, going to the Madrid Academy, going to Warsaw, Club Leisure, and you see like, what we've got, man, it's like
So that's why you're so passionate about what we can do.
Yeah, because I've seen it. Like I also coached the under 12 in the Domination Cup in Barcelona just before COVID. We played against Corinthians. Fortunately, we lost against Corinthians, like 6-0 or something like that. But even then, I think that coach of Corinthians, they were representing Brazil. He came up to me and said, I really like commend and I like how even if you guys were losing, we're still playing.
You're still playing.
They eventually won the World Cup. But the way that we played against Morocco and Tunisia. We lost 2-1 against Morocco and we beat the other teams underwater 2-0. But the way that we were playing with our small structure and body, I really truly believe that, like, maybe not in my lifetime, but we're probably going to be like in the semi-finals of the World Cup.
This is big. This is big. Shout out South African football. I don't know if you guys are watching here. Yeah, we are on the come up. There is one more question that you just wanted to ask before we get into our format. Since you was coaching women's football, if you want to get into that after that, and then we get into our format. So The show is basically wait.
So what? I have a daughter.
Yeah.
My daughter's 3. She plays. I don't think she's choosing. She's 3. She was that. My biggest thing is, I don't know how to even throw this. It's like this. It's like, how do we make sure that women are protected in women's games? I feel like as there's a lot of niggas who try to change and make sure that they're great. I know a guy who was a weightlifter and now he decided to be another weightlifter, for example. For you as a ladies coach, is it something you talk about? Is it something when you see someone who identifies as something else? I know it's a big one, but for me it's like, what are we doing to protect our girls, the girls? And if we can't protect them, what is the message we're giving to the other? Like, what are we going to do about it? For me, it's personal because of the fact that my daughter wants to play football, and she probably doesn't have a choice.
Yeah.
You know, because her dad coaches every day. So for you, if it was up to, like, you get something that you're not okay with, how do you talk to your girls to be okay with it? Or how do you say, we are not okay with it?
All right, so I got approached for Ubuntu Football Academy last year. So they're going to start a girls program because they're such a successful, and they still do have a successful
Boys program,
right? Truth be told, I really didn't know how I was going to like go about it because I'd never coached women before. I had a little bit of stint with the high performance at Hellenic because they had a really good girls program before Mr. B passed away.
No, by the way, don't pass that.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. B was good for me as well. Ambro for me was Mr. B. Burns.
Yeah,
that was my guy.
Oh, snap.
Without that guy, there's none of us.
So
the guy.
So they approached me, and then I think they were like, and then we had 5 girls that were integrated into the school with the boys last year. So they trained with the boys, which I think the girls, Casey Prince, the director of the Ubuntu, calls them as their first guinea pigs. So they did very, very, very well. I think they came in as like 13-year-olds at the time. So the main point is kind of like protect these girls, because if you go to these tournaments, you will see like each team has got like a girl that's playing in these teams, and then even opponents, they'll see a goal, but they won't go as hard on the goal. So what we wanted to really do is to put like elite girls, not really elite, but girls that could really play together, and then play competitively, and they can actually go in hard and go, if they press through the player, they press like, they can play hard, man, you know. What we noticed that even the girls like 11, 12, 13, they'll play like the Sasol League, which is like
second division basically,
of the
Hollywood Beds.
And then what these girls are exposed to is not what a 12, 13-year-old should be exposed to, lifestyle or just ringers in the changing room or whatever. So now we want to get these girls from an early age and then like groom them up, and then by the time they're 16, 17, then
they can make it,
different pathways where they can go to the States or go to universities here in South Africa.
Because that's where the clubs are,
or play professionally in Europe. So it's been a year. It's been really, really successful. And basically, it's just I'm also as a male, that I'm kind of like a father figure to these ones. And I really love my girls. I really protect them. But I'm also have to be very, very like careful as to how I navigate around the space where I ask them, they must come like kitted out. I don't go in the changing room.
Yes.
I also try to make them as
comfortable as possible.
These young ladies now, they're going through like some of the mind. So I give that open lane, whereas they can come to talk to me at any time if they're feeling like, okay, hey, coach, listen, some of the mind, I don't really feel. I really push them. If I was coaching the boys, I treat them the same way as the girls, you know what I mean? And then they can tell you like I'm really, really hard on them. But then there's also kind of like a way that the way that I load them, maybe it's not going to be the same as the boys, but the way that I approach the game is the same way because girls are really, really clever. Whatever that you
They're smarter than us, yeah.
Smarter than us, yeah. So they take in and then they...
No, they are, dog. Don't do that.
You know what I mean?
You know what? I've coached, I went to one session.
Yeah.
They wanna, you know what Safa do, eh? They'll put you in a session you don't want to be in.
I'm gonna be quiet.
Yeah. And they gave me a girl session. The way they could solve the problems I gave them, I was shocked.
No,
On the board.
Yeah, I'll give them a problem. The session, I'll give half and half. I'll give us one session that's a problem-solving one, how you're going to find space, and one easy one. The easy one, they get bored quickly in 5 minutes. The problem-solving one is 10. The boys took 25 minutes to solve that problem. I'm being honest. I've been that level. So I'm like, okay, they have a better way of... It's just patience thing. Yeah, it's a patience thing with the girls.
No, I mean, I don't have to put the boys down, but yeah, I mean...
Now I'm putting them down, but...
it's kind of like,
you know.
I'm very, very excited, especially with the future of
ladies football.
Yeah,
no,
like it's grooming.
you know, when I saw you coaching, it's a tough thing, you know. As me, I want you to coach our boys all the time. You know what I mean? But I get it. Your level of thinking is development. It's not who I'm developing, it's I'm developing.
Yeah.
And it's a great thing. What do you think about Sundowns, this domination?
Truth be told,
Do you think it's good for South African football? Sorry. And also South African football in general. Selling statuses, clubs are closing, clubs are opening. In terms of what we want to build is a country, do you think it works for us?
Well, with the Sundowns situation, I hear a lot of people talking about, it's with the money, you know, they're killing the leagues, the Farmers League.
Yeah.
But if you look where we are at the moment, like, if you look at under 17, there's some South African players there, under 20, South African players. Bafana Bafana at the last AFCON was a big hand, and also to a coach that I really look up to and I love, Coach Rulani. Even before him, Coach Pito. So South African football is really lucky at this moment to have a person like Petrus Tsipe who's president
On top, yeah.
And there's also really putting money as to where Sundowns is now. Sundowns showed the other teams, you know what I mean, as much as like dominating home, also like on the verge of dominating Africa.
Competing
so
every day.
They could just win this one now against Pyramid, and then you would see like
A change.
Sundowns, they're not even like their dominance is not even a drop of the ocean. I know it's been 8 years, but now I'm telling you, Sundowns is going to come a time where they win the CAF Champions League like 4 times in a row.
That's how
They're going to a lucky level.
That's how, So it's really good to show the other teams that, hey, guys,
You need to put the work in.
you need to put the work
You
in.
put the money where your mouth is.
As a
bro.
Pirates fan, what do you think we have to improve to get there?
Yeah, just the same thing that you've been doing. Pirates are very unlucky looking at Champions League. They're also unlucky in the league because maybe, you know, the fixture leagues, they still have to learn as to when we travel to Africa, how can we, you know, use quicker ways to get back home so that we can work the leagues, periodization, and using chartered flights and this, like better ways of like navigating around the space of playing in a Champions League.
Especially recovery.
Exactly. So and also like, you know, buying the
right players,
getting a coach. They're a really good coach now. Also, very unlucky in terms of like
Losing him.
Who's this?
Rivero.
Oh.
Like,
Do you think, as a lot of people think, Rivero was a good coach? I think he was one of the best. I think he's up, not as heavy as Ruud Krol. I'm a Pirates guy. Ruud Krol. But in terms of stabilizing, and we all know Pirates are going to dominate possession whether we lose or win. We knew Pirates was going to play this way, and this is it. You know? I feel like what happens now then when you lose, does Pirates have a Flemingberg to be like, this is how we playing? How do we develop further than... Only guys, I don't want to lie. I'm not South
African. But because I've watched
him coach other clubs, I don't think it was a sense of it.
Oh, but you would be surprised, eh? Like, coaching there was a very, very good coach. But also, guys, you really need, like, luck at times, you know? And it's also this thing now. I'm listening to your question and your point. Like, South African coach. There's a really good South African coaches.
Yeah.
That I just wish that they could be given
A platform.
And a platform. Oliveira, yeah, it's good, but you must also look at the people that are around him that are helping him. Riaz was also a big part of
that helping him.
Is, because he knows, the culture of South African players. He knows this. So we really need like we're talking about development coaches and how the more education that we've been given. I also think that more South African coaches should be like, for me, one of the best coaches I've ever had, like Parker, Shakes Mashaba, even Jobosono to a certain extent,
yeah.
really, really understood our players. But it's just like, as time is moving on, technology, terminology, and we kind of like need to learn. Young coaches like myself, Mark Mayambela,
all of us, yeah.
So Fadlo Davids, as a lot of young South African coaches that
are doing well,
could be given a chance. I think the bosses there are really scared to lose their status, because if you lose the PSL status, like 60 million plus. So
gone.
Yeah, so that's why sometimes you want to play around at the back, you want to keep the ball, you want to play long ball. Sometimes even for me, to watch a PSL game, truth be told, is not so nice.
Yeah.
But like, I enjoy watching Cape Town City. I enjoy watching Stellenbosch. I enjoy watching Sundowns. I enjoy watching Polokwane City because
Polokwane City, I've been telling you, Polokwane City, that they underestimated them. So they're so organized.
Even Sekhukhune plays some good, really
good.
Sekhukhune
is organized. We're talking about organized sides.
When we talk about PSL now, I think Mamelodi Sundowns, as we were speaking about Mamelodi Sundowns, is that yes, they've put in the money, yes, they've won all these championships, but looking at it as a development phase, starting it from scratch, as you spoke about under 17s, under 14, grooming that nature of a winning mentality. When it gets to the first team, it's automatic. That's why I see a lot of Mamelodi Sundowns are probably not going to be buying any more players. They're probably going to be producing a lot of stars from now on. So in terms of looking at development in South Africa and speaking about the Orlando Pirates, Onkota, or Relebogile, Mafokeng, who should I personally think they should cash in right now as soon as he gets an offer overseas? And brother, let's be honest, he's a homegrown talent. Yes, he'll be probably a South African legend if he continues playing both for Bafana. But I still think if he ever ends up in a big club, South African club, which is probably right now Mamelodi Sundowns, right? He'll win all the championships, but he'll be playing under that umbrella, like a city player.
I get him.
It's like a
Mafokeng. Yeah. So there's also like kind of like two ways you can also look at it. I think the fans are always like, why are they keeping the ball? But it's also like overseas, it must also the move that he must make must also make sense.
Must make sense,
financially or otherwise. Okay. Yes. But also looking at flip of the coin, when he leaves, he needs to go play at that stage. If he plays for Bafana, he should be playing at least
La Liga,
UEFA, UEFA, if not Champions League, but UEFA. He should be playing the top 5 leagues in the world. Because I really, really believe if you look at like the amount
France,
if you have to put Rele, this is my personal view. If you have to put Rele
on the left,
on the
left, and Yamal on the right.
Yes, Rafinha is doing well. But also find a space for him. But if you put Rele, and then I'm telling you, in 5-6 months' time, when he gets used to the pace, to the environment, to the language, Rele, my boy is a star, man.
Yeah, he is
a star. He can fit in. I'm talking about Barcelona now. Yes. I didn't go to Aston Villa, or I didn't go to Genk, or I didn't go. You know what I mean? So I really, really feel like he can play like in one of the top 5 leagues in the world. And he would actually really, really cope.
You know how?
Who?
Nkota.
Yeah, him too. Got good pace, good shot, left or right. But like obviously, I was looking at the comments also like 2 or 3 weeks ago before the final of the Nedbank Cup. He's selfish and right, but that's what you need. If you don't take your shot, you score.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like maybe just the decision making there and there. But for me, Nkota is also like he scored. You look at the goals that he scored, like in the
Champions League.
Man, for a young player like that,
yeah.
I never made it professionally, but for a kid like that to actually like score in Egypt and as like 80, 90,000 people.
North Africans
lasers
throwing flames and
you know,
flares and
yes,
stuff.
for him to score there,
Brilliant.
really criticize the boy.
Alright, cool. Let me get into some of our formats. Quickly run into them. Just a little bit of a transfer news touch up. There's a lot that's been happening in the market. Just gonna really jump through it. Jeremy Frimpong to Liverpool has been set. It's a green light. That's the replacement for
Trent.
Alexander-Arnold. I think Frimpong, it's a like for like swap.
It's not.
Look, he plays in the same back three with the back five system.
And it's the same
Xabi
position,
Alonso. Wait,
but it's not a like for like.
I'm not saying you'll get to Liverpool and become Trent.
No,
Alexander.
even in general, for me.
Okay.
For
how do you
me,
look at it?
why I go like that? For me, Frimpong is a natural wing back.
Okay.
Frimpong wants to stretch, wants to touch the line, wants to get forward.
All right.
Trent doesn't have to do that. Trent can come inside in the half space and pass the ball to get in those positions. Now, Liverpool are going to have... They think Trent is a bad defender. I'm not saying Frimpong is a bad defender, but Frimpong running to the line. And we have wingers in the Premier League that
Just bumped
cheat.
him.
That cheat. Go your party, Mrs. Up. Just that type of a player. That 1v1 is gonna create chaos every time. For me, I think Frimpong is good, but I think he's too good. Not too good. I think he fits too well for Liverpool in the way they think. They think Frimpong is gonna come. Also, England also like up and down.
You'll get stopped.
We're gonna
One
find
for you,
someone.
coach.
Yeah, I just think that Liverpool, they're losing out on their homegrown
Talent, yeah.
Okay, that's one. And then two, they're losing out on set pieces.
Yes, key.
And also a player that like can ping a ball 60, 70 yards and find where it was on the opposite
side.
or wherever. So yeah, they're missing out a lot on
On that right channel.
corner kick, free kick specialist.
Coaches, I've got one for y'all. Fabregas is amid talks with the Bayer
Yeah, I remember this
Leverkusen.
one.
Como, he's had a good season at Como Fabregas. I think this is the second season in Como.
Yeah.
Leverkusen has now approached him to be the replacement. Taking a small coach, going to a club that had quick success, and then just putting him there because he's a name brand, because it says Fabregas, we know him from his football era. What do you think about it? I don't know. It seems like if football has gotten to this now. This is as long as you've coached, you can play.
Yeah, for me, I don't know what Chris is gonna say. For me, it's like it's natural nowadays for that to happen. But when I look at Como was the best funded side in Italy, and they didn't do that great for the best funded side in Italy. Right? They're a smaller side, but have all of the things going their way. I think Fabregas is a good mind for football, but coaching and being a good mind for football is two different things. Fabregas une abstract ideas ezininzi too much kwangoku for playing in a top 5 league.
Okay.
In a top competitive division. He needs to refine his abstract thoughts to a way that he can do it. When I watch Como, I can see what he wants to do, but actually doing it is tough for them. And when he goes to Leverkusen, he's on, I think maybe because they won the league the season 2 years before, they're actually a great, I'm not saying they're not good, they're a great side to compete for the league.
They're good for their level.
Yes, but realistically they should be losing to Bayern every year. How do we compete with Bayern organizationally better than them? And I think Alonso had it, and Alonso knew that after 1 year they're gonna start to look. This day and age, we watch the tapes, we analyze the games. I've seen that Khris do it 6 times, so I know what he wants to do. So it's that I think Alonso's issue is adaptability. When no one was onto him, he was great, and now this year, when everyone knows what's onto him, he couldn't adapt good enough. But also, German football is just another landscape. It's chaotic. There's always someone with a new idea that works.
Khris, your view on if you were a great player, does that make you a great coach?
Yeah, not necessarily so. Look at Mourinho, look at Lani, look at yeah. There's a couple of examples. Even say Alex Ferguson. So, but you're talking about abstract ideas. For me, like I've watched a lot of interviews now. Not really necessarily watching Como the team, but around like Fabregas. I like Fabregas. I like how he thinks. His abstract ideas. I think it's what we need in football.
Yeah.
At the moment in time, man, it's like for me, it's a bore watching some teams because
We do the same thing.
Wenger is gonna go down the line. If you can't beat, he's not gonna come back. He's gonna come play the ball back, and you got this
Recycle.
So if he's got these abstract ideas, it's something that I would actually love to see. I'm also like very excited to see how he's gonna do at Bayer Leverkusen in that new league. Obviously, let me not say obviously because they could pull off Leicester City, or they could pull off whatever. Like, I'm excited what he's gonna do in Germany.
Good luck to him also.
Yeah.
Because
So I'm very excited to see what he's gonna do.
Just last two. Dean Huijsen. I think we skip right through that. Dean Huijsen, centre back of Bournemouth, has signed a contract. Has been
Real Madrid.
shipped to Real Madrid. And the last one, Gyorekes.
Why is the face?
They can start playing with Chumani.
Chumani, yeah, centre back, yeah.
Start playing.
But that boy Huijsen is a bit skinny.
No, but yeah, no, but it's good.
He's tall though.
The boy that's signed with United now.
Which one? The in the Reds.
Oh yeah. Also,
who's this young boy from United?
Not Dogu, not him. The centre back.
Yes,
Yoro.
Yoro.
He's
great.
He's doing well. So we'll see, man. Since he was, I think the past couple of games for Madrid has been a disaster for them. I think I can't wait for this season to end.
Yeah, Sancho's been bad.
Yeah, I've been a Madridista, so any.
Hey, last week was tough.
Yeah, but anyhow.
Last one, Victor Gyorekes has triggered his contract release. 121 goals and assists this season. He's
In 2 seasons.
Yeah.
He's 121.
From last season. He's 96.
96 games played.
Goals.
Okay, 96 goals. 121 games played.
121 goals and assists, but it's 96 goals by itself.
Damn.
So he's triggered his, he is leaving Sporting. Destination for this talented striker. He was playing under Ruben Amorim.
Where's he going?
He's
Just where would you
he's
put
done.
him?
He's finished with.
You went to Madrid. Do you know why you talk about being Manchester? You guys asked for Yoselu. That was so embarrassing.
Let us go to Manchester United, bro. I need a striker there. They need a striker.
You got Haaland.
You got
Haaland.
You paid 70 million.
Or I can go to Madrid because I mean,
Mbappe can play on the left.
The past couple of games I've watching Mbappe, he just doesn't
Doesn't want to play there.
He just wants to run in with the ball,
Yes.
no runs in behind.
Yes, he doesn't want to play there.
Yeah, it also depends how Sporting we're playing. I think it needs a team that will fit in well into almost like how he used to play. He's used to playing. Yeah.
On to the second loss. Well, not second loss. I just wanted to get your take, guys, on this chat. Yeah. Ballondor race. I've got 5 names here.
Oh yeah.
I've got some.
I like this one.
Very nice names on this
Let me
list.
go to the game.
We need to know why are you choosing this person? Let's not assume anything. Champions League final hasn't happened yet, but right now, the list stands at Dembele, Lamau, Rafinha, Salah, and Pedro. These are the top 5 Ballon'dor to watch.
Who you give it to?
Who are you giving it to? You've got
Make me
Dembele,
a Carragher, yeah.
Yamal,
What do you mean?
Rafinha,
Mo Salah's not in there.
Salah,
Mo Salah.
and Pedro.
Don't even mention Carragher out here. We hate Carragher out
We're
here.
not with it.
Ribeiro, Mafokeng.
No.
No, we get there. I have one for that. I have one for that.
I think, you know what, bro? This hype thing also. I'm telling you now, a lot of people are going to be looking like at Yamal, being like lifting the Ballondor. Second to that would probably be like Rafinha.
Yeah.
I think Mo Salah falls off. There was a time
He could have.
maybe like 2 months ago.
Yeah, me too. I believe that.
it's so weird because now Pedri is not flashy, like score goals. For me, like
He's the one.
I'm a Madrista, but like
He's
Yamal.
him. He's him.
Yamal.
I think Yamal is one. He won the Euro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He won. What else did he win? The La Liga.
Two La Ligas.
Domestic treble.
Yeah.
I think he just needs to. If he wins the.
Grow up.
He's the golden boy. He's
If
the
he won
golden
the
boy.
Champions League, then I'll give it to him. If he won the Champions League, but
Dembele.
I don't think
thing
Dembele
is,
carries the team.
I'm also not. I think we also not kind of like. I'm gonna put us. We're not clued up in what is
French
happening in
football.
France, yeah.
Okay.
In terms of the whole
Yeah,
thing,
fair.
yeah.
Yeah. So we've just been like La Liga,
just
La
see,
Liga.
yeah.
So at the moment, it looks like favorite. And football heritage says Barcelona. Yeah, Yamal.
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 Yeah, it looks like it.
So let's go into some different sport. Like, I'm gonna go into maybe. Let's go to the UFC, right? Just quickly. Khamzat Chimaev is gonna fight Dricus du Plessis. I was telling Chuma Sompeta, it doesn't matter what happens, right? Win or lose, yeah, Linkani. So it's not gonna be easy for the Dagestani. I feel like I always tell him. I feel like Dagestanis and Buddha people are the same people. They white niggas who shouldn't be in white places. They grimy.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm
both of
gonna
them.
lose, bro.
Both of them. So I feel like that's gonna be a great fight. I feel like Dricus can win because Ulipul. Not saying because of necessity. It's. I'm being real. The ability to not care about getting hurt.
The ability to stand up after being knocked
Yeah,
out.
being knocked out. Only the only niggas have hits like that. If you watch the Springboks, you can see.
You think he drinks clippers and coke before he goes?
He did his club draft and coke.
Inside, bro.
Hey, Muta.
Because if you are tapped into the UFC, Dricus, we've watched all of his games. There is zero
Technique. Yeah,
we were
there's no
speaking about
technique.
technique. Go watch Dricus.
Yeah.
Nothing. He shows up. He just shows up and he's
suddenly-
like, okay, let's do this. That's that. He's that type of guy.
I really think he's got a good chance. I'm gonna go back to it again and look at where we are in South Africa in terms of like what's happening in the sports. That's
the guy you need.
I think he's gonna win.
He's taking us to places. Let me go into, before that shocking results. I heard he was a Man United fan, so I had to double check.
Oh, no, it's not a shocking result.
Hey, hold on. It is a shocking result
had to
because
kill
this is a Europa final. This is a Europa League final that we're talking about. So it is. So some two shocking results that we need to speak about since the last time we were here. Man United played at home and lost to West Ham 2-0. And then went to Chelsea at the Bridge and lost 1-0. Right? Second shocking result. It's not shocking as you can see. It's not. But I'm going to round it up quickly. Just give me a second. Spurs plays at home against Crystal Palace and loses 2-0. And then goes to Villa Park and yet again loses 2-0. So here we've got two teams. Two teams that did not score in
One of them
goals. 2 games, no goals. This is the Champions League final. Well, sorry, Europa
Listen to
League
the Man
final.
United fan. Explain it to us. Explain it to us.
So I really feel like psychologically the players are ready, their minds are ready in the final. And they also, I'm telling you.
I can't take
Here we
it.
go.
I'm telling you,
I'm not taking that one.
even the coach is probably thinking about I think a coach I saw in the press conference after is like
Amorim.
he said that those results, whatever the match, gives him a clear idea who the starting 11 is for the UEFA Cup final. What you shouldn't be saying that, you should be talking about the game at hand that he lost.
Yeah.
That he's
He's already on
you
that.
know what I mean? So I really feel like the players are really, they want to get injured. And then it's not an excuse because there's really nothing to play for.
In the league.
Even if
Can
they
also-
won the
are you a
game,
Chiefs fan?
they could jump
Are you a
into...
Chiefs fan?
I'm a Chiefs fan.
Chiefs
Yeah.
and Man
It sounds
United.
like a Chiefs fan excuse.
All of explain.
Yeah.
All of explain.
Yeah. So Even if they want,
Nah, I just-
they'll jump from 16, 15 to wherever.
Yeah,
you
no.
know, so-
For me, I don't wanna lie. How can you guys finish 15th and go in the Champions League?
Nah.
You guys are Man United. Like, you
Rules
should
are
be
rules.
embarrassed of yourselves.
Rules are rules.
Quick fact.
Should be embarrassed of yourselves.
Quick fact. For the last shocking result, trophies this season. 70 years since Newcastle won a trophy, and they won a trophy, Carabao Cup. 91 years since Go Ahead Eagles won a trophy, the
10 years
KVN
since-
Cup. 51 years since Bologna won a trophy, the Coppa Italiano. And for the first time in their history, Oliver Glasner has cemented himself as probably one of the greatest Crystal Palace managers of all time by winning his first ever major trophy for Crystal against Pep Guardiola.
Respect Pep, man.
No.
Right?
I love Pep.
That's a strong
words, Steve.
But
It's a fraud. It's a fraud.
Those
It's a fraud. It's a fraud.
For
At
me,
the moment.
look, I don't want to make any excuse for Pep. Pep is great, but I feel like I've had enough of him in the league now. I think he should venture.
He's a Chelsea fan. We want to win again.
I think it should stabilize the league.
No, we want to win again.
Yeah, we want
Before
to start.
Pep came, we won all the time.
I think, one manager doesn't make the EPL, though, so, like...
Okay, can I ask you a question? Now doing the Maresca. You think Maresca is a good manager?
Right, if you
As a coach, okay, leave your manager part. Do you think Maresca is a good coach?
if you coach in the EPL, you're a good coach.
It's favorite.
Don't give me that.
Lampard came.
Don't give me that. Maresca.
No, wait.
Guys, coaching in those levels, it's really,
I
really
3-2-5 yakhe saying Andoni uzothenga i-3-2-5 siyayazi every day.
He's ever a good coach.
Yes, I like him.
Why?
How?
Because
That's just.
He sticks on his principles.
So he stuck to his principles.
not
Look where that nigga at.
But I like that.
yeah, if you're a good coach, I think you must always kind of
Stick to your principle.
stick to your principle, yes, but also adapt to what you have also.
Yeah, don't be Gary now.
You know what I mean, you can't be expecting who's the one that went to Seville, Real Betis.
Anthony.
If it's not working out, we try to find a way. Like, how can you know what I mean?
Fix him in the club.
Same thing with Mbappe came from PSG to find a way. How can he fit within the system? Yes, play within your principles, but like, try, if you're clever, really try to find a way.
A way to play the guy you need.
You know what I mean? So I think Pep also does that when he's really struggling. He's also going to change there and there. It's not going to be the same way. Maybe he lost 11 games in a row.
Yeah,
But in the 12th game, hey, listen,
let's do something.
let's do something different. Let me try use that. So yeah.
That's smart. I like that. Let's play the game.
Second last segment. I need to get an NBA for us. Just quick through it. It is getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, and Western Conference Finals are really close. It's been said already in the East, the Pacers are playing the Knicks. Very big game. Two big teams that have made incredible difference in the East. I feel like these two teams have now made the East a little bit more
But
competitive.
they're going to lose.
Hold on, they've made the team, the league, a little bit more competitive because everyone has been West. Golden State,
You know what's coming from the West.
all of these
You know what's
stars.
coming from the West.
Yeah,
And
hold on. So I'm really excited about this final. It's Halliburton's second final. He's been here before, so this is Nick's first final in a while. But Cat has been here before, so it's very interesting dynamic between that game. The next game in the West, we've got Minnesota Timberwolves. They're going against either OKC or Denver. Currently, Denver and OKC are playing tonight. It's a game 7. The score is 3-3. We've got experience versus the youngsters. Very interesting. If you're not watching the NBA playoffs, please tune in because it's going to be crazy. And then lastly, into the game. So, Khris, the game that we have today is very small game. It's stay on. Winner stays on.
Winner stays on.
Winner stays on. So we've got a list about 7 South African legends.
Several
I've got
South
some.
African players. So how it works is I'll give you 2 names. You'll choose one, and that winner stays on, and I'll get the next name. So, for example, I'll make an example, a bad example. I always say a bad example. I hate centre backs. Bazo or Kumaro. Type of thing, and then you say Bazo, and then we move on to the next player. But now I'm making it South African legends in
I
general.
hope they don't say no.
In general, I'm not gonna give defenders only or in general, right? I'm gonna try to make it as creative players as I can.
Chris Paul has 0 ball knowledge or something like that.
Nah, you got ball knowledge, but it's you know what I say all the time.
He's got football knowledge.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
get
not
that
ball
straight.
knowledge.
Yeah,
There's
keep
difference
it-
between
keep it
ball knowledge and
PG,
football
keep
knowledge.
it
Okay,
PG.
so here I go first. This is Bafana.
Oh, I must.
Now I'm gonna go.
Okay, go.
You got it.
No, you go. Go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, Sipiwe Chabalala or Itumeleng Khune?
So I must choose.
Between the two, Sipiwe Chabalala, Itumeleng Khune.
I don't know both the Gents. Yeah.
It's okay. They home.
So who must?
Whoever you want
Whoever
to
you
keep
choose.
will stay.
Yeah.
So the person you're choosing is gonna stay on to compete with the next player I call. So if you choose Shabalala, it's gonna compete with the next guy I call.
Must I explain why?
You can explain why. I want you to explain why.
Khune legacy, right?
Nice.
Shaba, I think he's done a lot of stuff, but I think he's remembered for that World Cup goal.
Yes,
Anything else? Think of anything else that Shaba
supports
did
it.
for-
Mm.
So Khune, even the little kids, they call it even now to this day when they service the ball, it's like
Khune.
So to this day,
Khune, Sean Bartlett.
Damn. Icons.
Charlton, one of the highest goal scorer of Yo, Khune stays, man.
Khune stays.
Yeah, Khune stays.
Skilo, Stephen Pina or Khune?
Stephen Pina. Why? Ajax Cape Town legend, Ajax Amsterdam legend, Everton legend, Blackburn. What team did he play for in Germany? Also?
Dortmund.
Did he play for
Yeah, he
them?
did.
He played for Dortmund.
Brief stint.
Was he? He was older than no?
No, it was before
Still-
he came to England.
Oh, is it?
So yeah,
Okay.
basically, Skilo, what he's done overseas and what he's still continuing.
Skilo or Delron Barkley?
Skilo still. So then I know he played in Germany.
Skilo or Dr. Kumalo?
Yo, it's kind of like I'm gonna contradict myself now. I'll also kind of like say Doc in terms of like
Impact.
Yeah, you could say the impact locally. Like if you had to take Doc and put him in Everton, no one would really know Doc. Or not even
Yes.
Everton, you put him in England, no one would really know Doc. But if you had to put Skilo and put him,
In SA, no one really knows Skilo.
they know Skilo, but
It wouldn't be that way.
Yeah, Dr. Kumalo had a shoe.
So you go Doc.
And so yeah, Doc.
Okay.
Dr. Kumalo.
Doc or Tigo Modisa?
Finally. Been waiting for the
Tico's
call.
my boy. Tico's my boy, man. But those guys, hey, the youth now, you don't know the impact that Dr. Kumalo had, guys. Dr. Kumalo won us the AFCON. Dr. Kumalo made us qualify for the World Cup. Yes, Tico is a Parents legend. Yes, Tico is a Sundowns legend.
But for Bafana,
Dr. Kumalo.
Dr. Kumalo. Dr. Kumalo or Lucas Radebe?
The chief.
Lucas.
Who, what he's done is still continue to do at Leeds and in England. Like I said again, you put Doc in England, or not even in England, you put him in Europe, they don't really know. If you put Lucas Radebe anywhere in Europe, they will know, okay, cool. That's the,
Now people named their kids after Lucas.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That's
Now,
crazy.
in Leeds, the whole stand is the Radebe stand.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Last one. So you say Lucas Radebe.
How can you're missing one person, bro? Go on.
Lucas Radebe or Penny McCarthy?
yeah, easily. Benny McCarthy. I respect the
By far.
Easily.
Lucas Radebe
He's
is
good.
He's
Inspirational.
like a friend of mine, but I was like, I know for Lucas, but like, yo, Benny, man, I remember Benny at the waterfront where the Ferris wheel was. There was,
Yeah.
like, when he was playing for Ajax, he came to play they played beach soccer there. They put like some sand in there, and at that time there was an Arabic group called Devante from PE. So I'm trying to reveal my age now. Like, yo, man, that guy, Waterfront was at standstill with Benny K. And also, if you go to like Holland, it's like, yo, man,
They talk about Benny.
all the time, bro.
Yeah, talk about Benny.
In Spain, in South
Talk about Benny, yeah.
In Celta Vigo, in Porto, in Portugal. He's like,
He's a legend.
Man, his biggest friends with Cristiano Ronaldo. Not even friends, but like the impact that he has when he's around.
Ronaldo's family are Porto fans. Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Like in England, like Blackburn, like yo, that guy is that guy.
So winner stays on is Benny.
Benny
I asked it last because it was gonna be obvious if I put him in.
Too clean.
It wasn't gonna be obvious, really.
Because it was Skilo in them,
Yeah, it wasn't gonna be obvious, but kind of like. It's kind of like weird how it would have turned out. It was alien.
If it was alien, that's what I like about winner stays on. Winner stays on will give you. For me, Tico, or for keeper, Munib. People will say Kuni was the big, but Munib on my life.
Slim Kati was the one.
For me, you know what I mean? It's like the Pirates fan. Yeah, true.
Yo, guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Khris, for pulling up to the episode.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys, for liking. Keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing. We appreciate the support. We're now sitting on 208 subscribers. We are growing. Just keep the support, guys. Keep watching. We're trying to, push the brand as much as we can. We're trying to get as many people to come to the show. Trying to push the product. Hey, I'm sounding like I'm selling cocaine. You must chill out. You can ash that part out. Playground Chat episode 26. We are out. My name is Chuma. Brother here.
I'm going to Ntshinga time. Thank you for tuning into the Playground Chat.
The best sportscast in the land.
Khris, I appreciate your time so much. We've chopped it up. Thanks for the laughs. Thanks for the fun. Thanks for the opinion. That's what we wanted the most. 26. Here we at. Follow. Where can we follow you? Where can we look for you? Where can we speak to you?
My Instagram because it's just like too much. It's
too much DMs. Chill out.
So it's Khris _Njokwana. Basically, like on all platforms, Twitter, on Twitter X and Instagram. Yeah, man, I just want to say, guys, keep on pushing.
Thanks, my dog.
I've been trying to be here the longest time, but like, I think the community of Ballon'dor, if you just like start here, just share, help grow, because this is what we really need.
Thanks, my dog.
Especially in Cape Town, I live in South Africa, especially in Cape Town, we need more like platforms like this, and it's really young people doing it. Themselves and we really need this. So
thanks, my dog.
This is going to be a big part. Come back
2026.
Season 2.
I'm a level.
Season 2. What's the call? Highest level.
Thank you, Gents. Thank you so much. We are out.
Yeah.